Hello everyone, welcome to sjprogrammingsolutions. So in today's video we are going to discuss about the Lambda expressions and the functional interfaces. So very first let's try to understand what is the Lambda expression. So Lambda expression is an anonymous function which doesn't have any name, and Lambda expression doesn't belong to any classes. Okay, now why we use the Lambda expression? We are using the Lambda expression to provide the implementation of the functional interface. Okay, so what is the functional interface? We are going to see in the next slide. Before that, let's understand what is the syntax of the Lambda expression. Okay, so whenever we are creating the Lambda expression, we will provide the list of arguments and then the Lambda expression symbol, and after that we will give the implementation or the body of that Lambda expression. Okay, we are going to see this practically. Now let's understand first what is the functional interface, and then we are going to open the IntelliJ and do the practice. Okay, now what is the functional interface? The functional interface is an interface which contains only one abstract method, and it may contain any number of default and static methods. Okay, now let's go to our IntelliJ and try to create the functional interface and then Lambda expressions. Okay, so very first let's create here the functional interface. So we have this interface and let's name it as math operations. Okay, and inside this interface I have one method void add. Or first let's take some test method. Okay, now let's do first in the traditional way, and after that we will convert the same to the Lambda expression. Okay, so here we have created this interface math operations, and this math operation interface have only one abstract method. That means it is the functional interface. Okay, now if you add any other methods here like void display, then it will not be the functional interface. Okay, but if you explicitly want to make it as a functional interface, then how you will do that? We have one annotation called it as a functional interface. So here we have this annotation functional interface. So whenever we are writing @functional interface here, it means this is the functional interface. So now if you try to add any other method here, then it will give us the compile time error. Why? Because you have mentioned here the functional interface, and what it means by the functional interface, it should contain only one abstract method. But here you are trying to add one more abstract method. Okay, so that's why it is giving the error. Okay, so this way you can make the interface explicitly as a functional interface. Okay, now let's create one class. Okay, so let's give the name as a class demo. This class is implementing the math operations interface. Okay, now whenever we are implementing this interface, we have to provide the implementation for the methods which we have declared inside this interface. So let's provide the implementation here and give here like inside test method. Okay, now in the main class let's create the object of this math operations. Let's give it as a math is equal to new demo and then math.test. Okay, now when we run this program, we will get the output as a this one inside test. Okay, so let's run this and see. See here we are getting the output as inside test. Okay, now let's convert this to the Lambda expression. Okay, this is the traditional way. Okay, see here how many lines of code we have written. Okay, now we are going to convert it to the Lambda expression and then you will see the difference. Okay, now this is the method. So let's copy it Okay, and inside our main class I am going to comment all this. Now here I am pasting this test method. Okay, so about the lambda expression, what we know the syntax of the lambda expression. First we have to write the arguments, okay, then the lambda expression symbol, and then the body of the lambda expression, and then semicolon. Okay, after that we know that lambda expression is an anonymous function, means it doesn't have any name. Okay, so let's remove the name from here. Again, we don't need this void and this public, so let's remove this. Okay, so this is the arguments. Now in the test method we don't have any arguments, so we can keep it as a empty. Okay, after that we have to give the symbol. This is the symbol of the lambda expression, and then this is the body. After that we have to give the semicolon. Okay, now this lambda expression you can assign to some variable. So here let's assign it to math operations and math. Okay, so now our lambda expression is created. Here one more thing we can do, that this is only we have one line implementation, so we can remove this curly brackets as well, and we can write everything in a one line. Okay, now how can we call the method math.test? Okay, now we can remove this as well, as this is not required. So see here, by only this one line we can create the lambda expression. Okay, so how we have created the lambda expression? See here, this is the arguments. We don't have arguments, so it is the empty parenthesis, then the lambda expression symbol, and then this is the body of the lambda expression. Okay, now even if I run this, I will get the same output. See here, I am getting inside test. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so I hope you understood what is the functional interface and how we can create the functional interface and provide the implementation with the lambda expression. Okay, now one more thing I want to show, how we can create the lambda expression with the when we have the parameters. Okay, so let's remove this @functional interface. Okay, and let's remove this method as well, and I am going to write the another method void add, and here I am going to provide two parameters n1 and n2. Okay, so we can remove this one. Right, now here let's create one class, name will be addition, and this class is implementing the math operations interface. So here I have to provide the implementation for my add method. Okay, so implement the method, and here I will write sout sum is, and here we can write n1 plus n2. Okay, so even we can make this void as an integer, but let's keep it as a void now. Okay, and here we are going to write the addition of these two numbers. Okay, so let's make it in the bracket. Now in the main, let's create the object of this math operations. Math is equal to new demo, not demo, we have created the addition. Okay, and then math dot add, and here we have to provide let's suppose 4 and 5. Now we will get the output as sum is 4 plus 5 9. Okay, so let's run this and see. See here, I am getting the output as sum is 9. Okay, now here let's create the lambda expression for this. Okay, so copy this, okay, and come here. Okay, we don't need all this, so let's remove it. And now here paste it. Okay, now we don't need the name, this void public, so I am going to remove it. Okay, here these are the parameters, okay, or list of arguments of our lambda expression. So after that we have to use the lambda expression symbol, then here we have to give the semicolon. Okay, now we are having only one statement, so we can remove this curly brackets and only we can keep everything in a one line. Okay, now here this type of the arguments also we can remove. Okay, because this will automatically get to know that what is the type of this argument. Okay, now if I save this, okay, then here I have to call math.add and here I have to pass the argument. So let's pass as a 10 10. So I will get the output now as this one, sum is 20. Okay, so let's run this and see are we getting the output as a 20 or not. So see here, sum is 20. Okay, so see here how we have created the lambda expression for the when we have the parameters. Okay, so this way we can create, like here we will pass the parameters, then lambda expression, and this is the body. Okay, so this way we can create the lambda expression for the addition, like this was for this method, right, this add method. So even we can remove this now, we don't require it. Okay, so just we have to create the interface and here we just have to provide the implementation with the lambda expression. Okay, so I hope you understood how to create the functional interface and how to create the lambda expressions. Okay, so that's it for today's video. In next video we will see some of the predefined functional interfaces and some more examples on the functional interfaces. Also we will see like why we are using only, like why we are providing only one method inside the functional interface. Like if we provide the multiple abstract methods, then what will happen. Okay, so this all things we are going to see in the next video. So thank you for watching the video. If you like this, please share with your friends and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you.